What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the CangToys HugeRhino, their version of a stylized masterpiece Headstrong from the Predacon combiners. So this is the first one I'm actually going to take a look at, even though it's not the first in the series. And this was sent to me by Ting Lee. He actually sent me the entire set in a gigantic box. These guys are really big. So I really appreciate him being willing to send this whole set. We're going to look at each one, but I decided to start with this one since it's relatively newer compared to the rest. Now today we're not going to go through the combined mode. We're just going to go through the robot mode, the alt mode, and then when we get all of them together, we'll take a look at the combined mode and how that looks. So starting off with the robot mode, it's got a lot of nice painted and sculpted detail. Even the chest right here got some little die-cast horns. I think they're die-cast. Translucent plastic behind it, silver paint. It's covered in paint. Got this goldish paint, maroon here, white tampo details and accents all over. Silver accents down here. Black accents throughout in various places. I mean, it really is very, very nicely detailed. Now, it obviously doesn't look like a G1 version of Headstrong, but it is a reimagined version. I think it really does look nice. There are also some translucent parts. The eyes are actually translucent. It's light piped. I'm not sure why they chose the light pipe, but they did. And it does look good. I just would have preferred painted eyes. But overall, the deco on this, you got translucent here also for the horns on the shoulders, on the rhino head, which we'll see later. Just really cool choices here on the deco. For articulation, the head is on a ball joint. It gets down to there, up to there, side to side on that, and then rotates all the way around. So you can get pretty much any angle on that. Shoulders will rotate around on a ratchet joint. Nice tight ratchets. You can go out to the side on the inner ratchet, and then on the outer ratchet, if you lift up that shoulder pad, you can get it all the way up to there. So it's a really nice, impressive movement on that shoulder. The shoulder pad it's not necessary, but it really can move out of the way quite a bit. There's a lot. And I was trying to figure out exactly why they did that. I'm not really sure, but there's a lot of articulation just in that shoulder joint. And then you can put this back down as a cover down piece. So it's a very, very advanced type of joint there just for the shoulder. All right, continuing around, you'll have a rotation at the bicep. You also have a rotation here at this elbow. You have a die-cast joint here for the elbow, and that gives you the full bend, double jointed. Beautiful joint there as well. The hands can rotate at the wrist. The fingers are individually articulated, nice, tight, and sturdy fingers. They really do work well. And the thumb is on a ball joint and a pin, so you can bend it there. I really like these hands a lot. They did a good job on those. Continuing down, we have a rotation at the waist. You have an ab crunch here. It is locked in place, so you have to unlock it. Yeah, and it's a pretty tight lock, but there's a little tab right there that holds it. You can get him basically down to there, and then you can lock that back in. It's a very tight click. Coming back to the front here, we have hip skirts on the sides. Those will lift up and out of the way. You can also move it back. And then these will also lift out of the way. Legs can go up to there, back to there, out to the side, all on ratchets. The first detent is a good distance, so it's not too wide, so that's good. Put that back. You have a rotation at the thigh around universal. A double jointed knee gets you the full run. And you got this nice die-cast piece for the knee, and it looks really good. All right, continuing down, we have ankles that can go down to there on a joint back here. Forward, toe tilt, little bit of heel tilt back here, rotation at the foot, and ankle tilt out to there. As far as accessories, you get a blaster here, done in gray plastic with silver paint and some tampos there. C toy. It looks really good. Fold down the handle. There's a little slot there that'll fit into a tab on the hand. Now these guns remind me of Toy World. I know this isn't Toy World. There might be some engineers that, you know, work for both companies, but some of the packaging and some of the details do remind me of Toy World. But there you go for that gun. Good looking gun. You also get a bunch of swords. You get 3 different kinds. So these two are pretty similar. You get one shorter one longer one. And they have a handle with the tab just like the others. You can get these in like this if you prefer. And that'll tab into the hand and sit just like that. Or you can fold this handle down and get it in this way, kind of like an undergrip. And there you go, you can have it like that as well. And all of these work the same way. This one is kind of like a double-bladed sort of sword, so that one looks a little bit different. But they all work the same, and they can all tab into the hand, or you can open up that handle and it can kind of end up as an undergrip. Either way, there's just some good options there. You also get another accessory which we're not going to look at here today because it's for the combined mode. So it basically allows you to take this weapon and all the other weapons and combine it into a massive gun for the combined mode. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Transform Element Optimus Prime and the MP36 Megatron. Fits in nicely. He's a pretty big robot. I think they're all relatively big, but they fit in nicely with Masterpiece scale. Alright, now let's get this guy transformed into his alt mode. And pretty interesting transformation on this guy. So let's start off with the arms. Rotate these up. I'm going to open up this panel here. It helps if you kind of push the hand down a little bit, but you're going to open up here. You want the fingers on the top. And we're going to get this rotated. As you rotate, the beast or the animal arm will come up. Close that up. And make sure you get that rotated all the way in. And then this is going to rotate and sit down like this. You want to rotate the arm around this way. So that's basically one arm done. Go ahead and do the same thing on this side. All right, now we'll take care of the backpack and the shoulder pieces. So come to the back here. We're going to basically move that out of the way. That gives you a little bit of room. This entire backpack is going to unpeg from here. We can actually take this, and you can see there's 2 pegs on the ends of these that are unplugging there. If you open that up, it'll allow you to take this panel and open this black panel up as well. We're going to take the head. I'm going to rotate that 180 degrees. That's going to fold down into the cabin. Make sure it's straight, otherwise you could scrape some of that paint. Right, and then we can get this folded back. Actually, before we get this folded back, we're going to take this piece here and we're going to unpeg this red piece from here. And just let that sit down like that. These can fold back just a little bit. We'll take care of those a little bit later. What we really want to get to is this piece here. So these 2 gold pieces are going to rotate forward. And this whole thing is going to rock forward and end up sitting like this. Inside here, there's a panel you're going to fold out. There's 2 little panels here. Fold that back down. It should sit flat like that. Now you can put this flat down. This whole thing's going to lift up. So remember, we put this black piece down. Going to lift up, and the tabs on the end of the gold piece are going to fit into these slots. Get that all the way back down and get that plugged in. It should end up looking like that. Right. We're going to take these panels and bring these to the back. And they're going to sit just inside here, just like that, so they're out of the way. Right, now that we have these back here, we are going to take the entire waist piece and we're going to rotate it. Just get these out of the way. And rotate the waist 180 degrees so it ends up on the back like this with these hip skirts. Make sure it's perfectly straight and lined up. Now we can take care of these arm pieces here. So you're going to take these silver pieces here, and those are going to fold all the way down. So they end up like that. From this side, and this is actually what holds the arms in. So it's kind of an ingenious little engineering there. And just be careful as you're moving things around. You don't want to scratch up paint. But both of these silver pieces end up all the way down. You're going to take these hip skirts here. Those are going to fold up and sit inside of here, like that. And then we're going to take the arms, they're going to accordion down, they're going to rock down and tab into these lower tabs. So they're in the higher tabs. I just think that's so cool how they designed that to lock into place like that. All right, same on this one. Rock that down and tab it into the lower tabs. And it's starting to come together. Come to the back here, we'll take care of these legs. These are probably the more complicated part of this thing. So we're going to take this, fold this out from here, fold this down, rotate this around, and close that up. And the sequencing on this actually is pretty interesting. I actually watched a video, I watched MGo, and there's a sequence here that if you get it wrong, it actually makes it harder, and the way he showed it, wasn't quite obvious. But basically you're going to take this, rotate this foot around, and the part that's kind of confusing, you need to rotate this leg first, not after you rotate the foot. Rotate the leg around, now rotate this, otherwise you won't have enough space for this to clear. Then rotate this foot around, and then you're going to rotate it back. Right? Once you do that, this is going to come down and sit like that. This is going to come down and accordion down like that. You can see as I folded it out, these two little tabs popped out of the foot. Those two little tabs on the bottom of the foot are going to come down and tab into right here. So bring this all the way down and tab that in. Give that a firm push. That can be pretty tight. All right, so leave that foot right there. We're going to unpeg all of this. So come to the inside, this tab, which is actually holding the inside of the leg. Untab that. You're going to untab this. This one's a little bit tougher. There's a little panel right here that's supposed to unpeg. And it can be tricky, but if you push down here while giving a little bit of a shake, you'll get it popped out. So that's the one you want. Open that up. Take this leg, slide that all the way down. And again, it helps if you have it angled out a little bit. This is going to go back in, so there's a tab spot for it to go right back in. So get this around, tab that in. Make sure it actually hits the slot. And then this is going to come down and sit like that. And that's basically one leg done. So let's do the other side. And these are going to tab together. There's two tabs right here. So get those tabbed together like that. I'm going to show you that a little bit later. So it should end up looking something like this. All right, come to the side here. And this is really interesting the way they did this. I really like it. Bring this down. And we'll just sit down like that. Going to come to the side here, open up this panel. There's a little hidden panel there. There's actually a weapon in there too, but I'll show you that a little bit later. And this is going to tab in right here. So hold this down and then get this tabbed in on top. Tabs in right there. All right, same on this side, open this up. Hold this down with your thumb. Flip this around and get this tabbed in right here. So it should look like that. Come to the bottom. Now we're going to take care of these. So these are going to fold to the outside. There's a slot and a tab, and a slot. So get all those in. Just make sure they line up. And it's really pretty impressive how they made this all fit together. All right, so it should look something like that. Come to the top here. This is going to come down. You want to get this tail out of here. So this is stored up in here. Fold that out. Fold that out. bring this down. And there's 2 slots right here and 2 tabs right here. That's really all that holds it in. So just line those up. You need to kind of look and see, but it should just tab in like that. Come back to the front here, and this head, it's just going to sit friction and fit right on top of here. And there we have HugeRhino in his Rhino mode. And I have to say, I really like how this looks. It's very cool. It's, you know, it doesn't look like a Rhino, obviously, but it looks somewhat like the character that we know, Headstrong, but it's stylized and it's got its own thing going on. Got a lot of nice tempo details that we didn't see in the robot mode. You can see a lot more here along the head. You got nice translucent eyes, translucent horn, which I haven't seen a lot of except on, like, you know, Dinobots or something, but that looks really cool. All the paint, deco, and sculpt looks really good. It really comes out nice and clean in this mode. I just love how it looks overall. Here's the back. Yeah, it just looks like a robotic animal. They did a great job. It's got some really nice articulation. Now the head isn't like attached to anything, so you can pull it right off of there, but because of that, it allows you way up to there, way down to there. You can rotate the head side to side. You can get side to side movement on it. You do have an articulated mouth, opens all the way up. You got painted black. Is that die cast? Yep, that's die cast in there on the top and bottom. It's very, very cool. I really like that a lot. Shoulders rotate around, back and forth on a ratchet. Outwards, same ratchet that we had on the arms, so nothing different there. You do want to kind of collapse these down a little bit. And I do notice in this mode, the arms tend to, you know, they will come unplugged a little bit more because there's not that, you know, the tab that was holding it is not there anymore, but it still works very well. The elbow can bend forward and backwards here, so you can kind of get him whatever running or backwards like that. For the ankle, you have a side-to-side movement, forward, backwards, and you can move the entire ankle if you want. So that works. This shoulder piece does kind of come unplugged, but you can just tab that back in. Coming to the back legs, you have a rotation here. I forgot to mention there's a rotation up here too, which we had on the arm. But rotation here, knee bend forward and backwards. The rotation, same thing on the feet. They're on a ball joint, so they go in and out, rotate around, and go up and down. For the tail, goes down to there, up to there, rotates here, and then rotates here. So you can get it kind of up. I think that's the best position for it. Now you do have some weapon storage on this guy, which is kind of cool. You can take this little tab right here that'll plug into the top. And just like that, that's really great. I think that's a good looking storage option. It looks kind of natural. You can also take and open up these kind of secret weapons. I guess you could have opened it up in the robot mode too if you really had wanted to, but I kind of saved it. So if you open this up like that, fold that to the outside, fold this back down, fold that down, now you got these guns. I think that's just so cool that they had that hidden in there. They didn't need to put that there, but they made it work. So I think it's kind of cool. And you wouldn't even known it was there. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the CangToys version of Slag and the MP10 Optimus Prime. And if you're watching my reviews for the first time, you haven't watched my older reviews, I always compare with a version of Optimus, whether it's a Legends review. So I just like to be consistent and show you with next to Optimus. But it's a very big Rhino, much bigger than this, so that's pretty cool. Taking him out of here for a second. It is almost the same size as this Dinobot. And yeah, it looks really good next to him. So if you're planning to display him with other robot animals from the Masterpiece collection, then I think this will work very well. So final recommendations on the CangToys HugeRhino. I'm going to this a 4 out of 5, and I have to tell you, I seriously consider giving it a 5. But a couple things held me back. Number one, we have not looked at the combined mode. not only did we not look at the leg mode for this guy, but we haven't looked at the full combined mode. So I just can't give it a 5 yet without looking at that. I did watch a video or two on the combined mode. I haven't looked at the reviews for this guy in particular, but it does leave something to be desired with the combined mode. So I'm going to hold back from giving it a 5, but the robot mode and the alt mode on this are phenomenal. It has beautiful paint, really good materials, really good tolerances. All the joints feel beautiful. It feels like, I don't know, something like Flame Toys or maybe 3.0. I mean, it's that level of quality in the joints and the tolerances and the materials. Paint is very well done. Accessories really work. They all look good, and they work. And you have plenty of extras if you change up his look. You got the little weapons hidden down in here, which you can actually take out here in robot mode if you wanted to. But you can just do cool things like that. I mean, he just poses so nicely. It's very fun to pose. The other thing that kind of holds me back from giving him 5 is it's very stylized. So not everybody is going to love the stylization. A lot of people ask me, why didn't I get this set? Why am I not in on this? I will say the only reason at this point is the stylization. It's just a little too stylized for my taste. I'd prefer a more G1-esque version of Predacon. But those that don't care about the stylization, you're going to love this thing. I'd highly recommend it if you don't care about the stylization. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Ting for sending this for review. We have more to go, so stay tuned for those, and we'll see you next time.